I recently completed all 60 league stages and I wanted to share my build that I used to complete them, since you do need a lot of damage to get through these NPCs, especially for Rosenfeld. So let's take a look at my build. First, let me just show you that I did complete all 60. There I completed all 60 stages, or total 60 out of 60. So I completed all of them using this build. You're going to see it's mainly focused on damage, pure damage. You're going to be squishy as hell. So for my first weapon, I'm using the Baker's Dozen. This is probably one of the best rifles in game at the moment, since yes, I've got a guard roll on the critical hit. I can actually upgrade this gun a bit more and do more damage. But this perfect lucky shot is amazing for taking out tanky enemies, since you will get your ammo back if you miss a shot, which is amazing. For my secondary, or not my secondary, but my secondary primary, I used an LMG, since I've got the LMG gloves, and this was just to mow down NPCs. As you can see, critical hits at a stack of 8% reload speed, so when reloading with this gun is really fast. For my pistol slot, I just put in a shotgun, since it does 1.4 million damage, plus I've got the guard roll shotgun damage. Now for the mask, this is the new exotic coyotes mask, which is really good. 15% weapon damage, some critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and then I put in a mod with 10.5% critical hit damage. The main thing about this build, it's really squishy, and the chest piece is probably one of the most things that make you squishy, since you're going to take extra damage. This is also a named item, the sacrifice, since I just wanted to do pure damage to get through the content as fast as possible. So I decided, let me just take 60% extra damage. You are going to be a wet little noodle, but you will be able to deal with a lot of enemies, especially those tanks. You're just gonna wreck them. So for this, I just got weapon damage, some explosive resistance. I guess that is nice, but I upgraded it to some critical hit damage. I actually got more now that I can upgrade to. I got some critical hit chance, and then the talent, I do 30% extra damage, but I also take 60% extra damage. So you need to be really careful when you're playing this build. You need to use cover. For the holster, I'm just getting some crit chance here and some headshot. But weapon damage, critical hit damage, critical hit chance, all of this is the same. And for the backpack, I wanted to something to heal me up, since I didn't have a heal constantly. So I wanted something that can maybe sustain me while I am fighting. Here I just went some critical hit chance, since I want to crit a lot. Weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. And for my mod, since this is a defensive mod, I went with protection from elites, since they do a lot of damage. Perfect clutch if you are below 20% armor, critical hits repair 2.5% missing armor. Kills allow you to repair up to 100% armor for 4 to 5 seconds based on your core attributes. So I don't know exactly how this works, since sometimes I would kill an enemy and I wouldn't heal completely. So I'm not sure, but it's just there to sustain you a bit. For the gloves, now the gloves and the knee patch is the main damage source here. Recently, a lot of YouTubers came out with these gloves saying this is best in slot for damage, and it's actually true. Like this one, I just upgraded the damage, and because this is a named item, it gives you 11% damage to armor, which is really good. I think this is the contractor's gloves, and it's really good. Plus I've got some extra critical hit damage, which is really nice as well. So these gloves are really good, and they will amplify your damage by a lot. So I went with an LMG just because I get some LMG damage. So for this build, I took an LMG. I didn't really care about what gun I use. I just wanted to use something that does a lot of damage so I can clear the content. For my knee pads, I went with the Fox Prayers knee pads, and this is important since you get that damage to targets out of cover. So you get extra damage to targets that is out of cover. 15%, that's a lot. This is just as much as the weapon damage, but I think this is multiplicative. So you add damage to the damage you already have. So weapon handling at the bottom there as well. Nice for the LMG, but I would want crit hit damage there. Now all of this combined, I'm using the Reviver Hive. Please use this. You are going to die a lot if you're not careful with this build, and you will probably die. Now I just use the Seeker Mines to get NPCs out of cover so they don't just sit there and constantly just waste my time. Now for my stats, I should probably switch out my specialization first before we look at my stats, since I switched to this one so that I can actually burn enemies. But the main one that I used was Sharpshooter because I wanted to go for headshots. So let's take a look at the specialization first so that we don't get confused about the damage. I'm just going to activate it so that it applies to my loadout. But I did mainly use the Sharpshooter since I wanted that stability and headshot damage, and their medkit is pretty nice as well since you get some condition removal. Let's say you're on fire and you're still burning, you're about to die, you just pop that medkit, it removes that fire and you're good to go. So it's pretty nice for rifles and for removing conditions. Now let's get back to the build. I want to look at the stats. So let's take a look at the stats. Now these are all my talents, we already went over it. But for the damage, so for the damage is 522,000. Don't care about the PvP, but my critical hit chance is only like 50%. It's because I've got the Coyote mask, which will give me 20% if I'm really far and 10% when I'm really close. So it will almost hit like 60 quite easily. So I went with 50% critical hit chance, almost. I just missed it, but it doesn't matter that much. 100,000 critical hit damage, or just a bit over. A lot of headshot damage, which is really nice to down those red NPCs and purples and yellows. And I've got some armor damage here, 11%. Reload time doesn't matter really. Accuracy. And that's about all that we need to know. We also got some rifle damage here, which is nice. So a light machine gun damage. The rifle damage is really nice. And a light machine gun damage bonus. So that is the stats for the build. I am going to release another video for this, which is me doing heroic with this build. So it will probably be the next video after this one. So you definitely should go check that one out. It was quite intense and the ending is quite special. So that has been my build. Hope you enjoyed it. This build is pretty straightforward. Just go critical hit damage and critical hit strike chance and weapon damage. Talents is weapon damage, and this mask pretty much add to your damage as well. You can run whatever you want, but I think a Reviver hive is a must, so you need to get that one. The secondary slot, you can just do whatever you want. I do have mods on this, but they don't really matter since I am not a skill build. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you want to see more Division 2 content from me, then you can subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.